is Derek Shin. We're going to talk today about light. And specifically, we're going to talk about the T-Zone LED therapy device, which you can take home and use on your own for all sorts of different ailments. But today we're going to talk about specifically how you can use it to help balance emotions. So stress and anxiety, fatigue and depression. Before we talk about that though, I'd like to talk about a little background of light. So light has been used for thousands of years. It's been used by the Egyptians and the Mayans and the ancient Chinese. And again, a little bit of background. The philosophies of all of those ancient civilizations was that we are energy. And it was actually the Western philosophy as well. And then about 3,000 years ago, that philosophy started to branch out. And the East continued to consider us whole and energy, and the West started to try to break us down and study all the specific parts. But the nice thing is that this time, both of the philosophies are starting to come together. And the realization with all of the advancements in physics, especially quantum physics, is that basically we're energy. And light is the most pure form of energy. And basically, that's all it is. It's wavelengths of energy that hits the body. And since we are energy, we respond to the light. And every cell of the body responds to light. It doesn't matter what the cell is, whether it's a skin cell, a nerve cell, a muscle cell, a liver cell, spleen cell. Every cell of the body responds to light. So today what we're going to talk about is how those different colors affect the body's cells and therefore affect, like I mentioned, stress and anxiety and all the different emotions. Because in the East, you don't separate mind from body. That my mind is my body is my mind. So if I can affect my cells through this wavelength of energy, it affects my mood. In Eastern philosophy, white light is associated with metal. And the way we would use white light is to subdue the wood element, which is associated with the emotions of anger and frustration and envy. So anytime you're starting to feel that type of energy, we would use white light to subdue it. And the way we would apply it, we would apply it to different points associated with the liver. And one of the major points would be liver 3, which is located right between the big toe and the second toe. And you would find it by moving up the web of the toe until you can't go anymore and the bones come together, and then that's where liver 3 is. You'd apply the light for probably about 5 minutes or so, and you do this continuously throughout the day. And in Eastern philosophy, what we would do is we use the green to subdue the earth element, which is the stomach and spleen. And they are associated with the emotions of stress and anxiety. The type of stress where you're just overthinking things, where things are in your mind and you can't get them out of your mind, that type of stress. So what you'd do is typically put the green light on some of the stomach and spleen points. The most powerful one would be probably stomach 36, which is located just below the knee. It's located on the big bump just below the kneecap. On the lower border of that bump is stomach 36, just off the side. And you would hold it for about 5 minutes, and you would do it daily or as needed. So I've just put on the blue filter, and the same thing, the blue filter then filters out all of the other wavelengths, so just the blue wavelength can be emitted. The blue in Eastern philosophy or Eastern medicine would be used to subdue, just like the green, stress and anxiety. But it's the type of stress where it's more manic, it's more of an energy, where you just feel impatient. You feel like you just can't sit still. Not necessarily just your mind, but your body. You just feel that sense of discomfort and irritation. So the blue is calming for that. And what we would do is we'd put it on the heart points, heart or small intestine, but usually the heart. The most, I think, powerful heart point to help subdue that type of energy is heart 7. And the way to find it would be on the crease of the wrist on the baby finger side. And basically you would just go to the lowest crease of the wrist and just apply the light there. Again, for 5 or 10 minutes. You could do it daily, you could do it twice daily. In the Eastern philosophy we talk about yin and yang. When someone is fearful and worried, eventually they get really tired and fatigued and depressed. And so when it's that type of energy, we would use the yellow light to stimulate kidney and bladder points, particularly the kidney. So one of the points we would use for the kidney would be kidney 3, which is on the inside of the ankle, right beside the big bump on the ankle, just between the big bump and the Achilles tendon, and you would apply the yellow light there. Typically we'd use red as a stimulating energy, just like yellow. So it helps with low energy and depression, but specifically when the low energy and depression is associated with grief or sadness. And so if you or your loved one is feeling grief or sadness and you're feeling the low energy, you use the red light to stimulate typically lung or large intestine points. And one of the best ones is lung 9 and 7, which is located, those 2 points are located on the outside of the wrist, the thumb side of the wrist, right at the crease. So you would apply the LED device just to the outside of the wrist and just hold on. One of the great features of this LED device is not just the LED cluster, which we've shown you with the previous points, but also this red LED, which is a 660 nanometer, I know it sounds very technical, but it's a very powerful LED, and you can use it to specifically stimulate certain points. So you can use it to stimulate the points we've covered in this video, but also in the manual you get the specific points that help with all sorts of things with regards to stress and anxiety and body pain, etc. So refer to the manual and you learn the points. They're great points to learn. Everyone should know these. And you have this red LED, very powerful red LED that you can stimulate the point. Another great feature of the LED device is the 3 modes. You have continuous, you have a medium frequency pulse, and a high frequency pulse. When you have it on continuous mode, basically it's a subduing, it inhibits. So something chronic, where there's a lot of pain and stiffness, you would put it on the continuous mode. For something that's just trying to heal, and it's sort of maybe 2 or 3 days old, whether again it's a muscle strain or sprain, you would use it on the medium frequency. And for the higher frequency mode, it would be used on acute conditions. So just as the injury occurred, you would put it right on the injury on this high frequency mode, and that stimulates the healing process. So what comes with the LED unit is the LED unit itself, and then all of the different filters. As we mentioned, the filters that block out the wavelengths, so we have the greens and the blues, which are subduing. We have the reds and the yellows, which are stimulating. We also have the AC adapter, and a terrific little guide. So points that are outside of what we covered in the video today are in this little guide that shows you different points for stress and anxiety and body pain. So enjoy your LED unit. It's a terrific little device, and it's something now that you can bring home, because this type of technology used to cost thousands of dollars. So it's wonderful that we can all take it home now.